This guitar is a Rickenbacker Model 365 made in the year 1965. Rickenbackers are datable by the two-letter code as part of the serial number on the input jack plate. This is an instrument with two input jacks. They're Ricco Sound stereo and standard mono. The EK gives the year and the month. K is the month, starting with A in January. E is the year, starting with A in 1961 and B being 1962. This is, again, a 1965 guitar, hollow body with a carved top, one sound hole, two-level pick guard, the bound fingerboard with their deluxe large sparkle triangular inlays running the full width of the board, the name on the truss rod cover, their so-called fire glow red sunburst finish, checkered black and white binding on the back of the body, laminated neck construction, the so-called old-style toaster top pickups. Very much a collectible guitar, popularized in part by the heavy use of Rickenbacker 12-string guitars by the Byrds and also by the Beatles. But Rickenbacker most certainly did have some good times back in the 60s when these guitars were made. And continuing to this day, they are a viable company. They've stayed rather small, often enough have not met the full demand. But whether that's good, sensible business practices or not, what it has done is that although Rickenbacker didn't necessarily reap huge rewards in boom times because they didn't fill the demand, when the market bottomed out, they were still viable because they never had been meeting the demand. They continued producing a similar quantity, and they sold anyway because they went from extreme back order to less extreme back order, whereas some companies had geared up to fill the full demand of boom times. When the market went down in any downturn, they suffered mightily. This is a rare and collectible guitar, but Rickenbacker has a long history. While they may not have grown as big as Fender or Gibson or Gretsch or some of the others, they were one of the absolute first. Adolf Rickenbacker and George Beecham, who was their designer for electronics, designed the original prototype of the Rickenbacker frying pan lap steel as early as 1932, before Gibson or Fender or anybody else had an electric guitar in production. George Beecham was designing pickups for Rickenbacker, which were the first commercially viable magnetic pickups. And this is truly revolutionary. Gibson and Fender do not have as long a tradition in electric guitars as Rickenbacker. So this is a truly iconic company that was a market leader. And even in the 60s, while it may not have had as big a market share as some of the others, they made iconic guitars with a distinctive look, feel, and sound of their own. And certainly one of the most successful electric 12-string guitars ever. This is a 6-string here, but Rickenbacker has that rich, varied tradition.